Damn, son, where'd you find this?
It's a bit different, a little bit more intimate. Right, this is a song called Memories in Dust.
First I was a hatchling, waiting for my little bones to form. Oh no. Next I was a fledgling, leaping from the nest despite the fall. Oh, they fall, how we fall. But if I speak to you of days on the ocean, then I can speak to you of memories and dust. There won't be time for all of us. I know there won't be time for all of us. I landed in the garden, longing for the view behind the fence. Oh my God, I prayed my bones weren't brittle, for the air we float on can feel dense. All the weight, oh it aches. But if I speak to you of days on the ocean, then I can speak to you of memories and dust. There won't be time for all of us. Oh no, there won't be time for all of us. I saw two fall before they were ready to, and I found no sense or gain to bear the cost. Comfort comes to those with faith in mysterious ways, but for me, faith don't make up for what we lost. And if I speak to you of days on the ocean, then I can speak to you of memories and dust. There won't be time for all of us. I know there won't be time for all of us. But in the morning I can smell you on my pillow. I need to know you won't get run out in the wash. I need to know there's time for us. I must believe there's time for some of us. For some of us. You formed before they were ready to, and I found no sense or gain to bear the cost. Comfort comes to those with faith in mysterious ways, but for me, faith don't make up for what we lost.
Thank you. This is Triple J, live with the wireless with Josh Pyke. Yeah! Pyke, alright. Now we're cooking. Alright, this is called Lines on Palms.
Sometimes I know I become all that's weak in a man and weak in a boy, but I keep trying and I won't quit, and that must be worth something more than a strong man who believes that there's nothing left to try for. And I can be cold, I know, but a woman is a warm breath on the back of your neck and a warm belly pressed against yours. We need to feel strong before our paths are more than what's laid out in lines upon our palms. and everyone steers clear. And I don't wanna live like that. I wanna live somewhere more like you, by the sea, where the cliffs keep sentry, watching over me. It can get rough out there, I know, but a woman is a sail that remains unfurled. Stay ahead of the wind, man, or you won't catch her. No, we need to feel some of all our parts. I'm more than what's laid out in lines upon our palms. Although our hands are tied and we move as though they are, till we're bound by branching out. Sometimes I know where I am and what I'm doing and what things might become, but that always seems such a fleeting state. For the remainder of the time I feel that I am a babe in the woods, howling for deliverance. And I can be cold, I know, but a woman is a warm breath on the back of your neck and a warm belly pressed against yours.
Thank you.
What was it that pulled you into this magic world of music?
I think, like a lot of kids growing up and listening to, their parents' record collection, there was just something about songs and music that engaged me more than whatever, more than sport or more than, films or whatever. More than Dungeons and Dragons or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, I was never into that. It was just something I felt really emotionally connected to, and I remember feeling that kind of level of engagement, and I just wanted to keep going with that. And so then it becomes this process where you think, well, if I can engage with it on this level of just listening to it, what can it be like if you actually start the creative process? And it was a very, very natural process. It's just something I started doing, singing around the house, and then started learning guitar, and it just kept on going.
So were you a bit nervous about showing them off, your first songs initially? Was it something that you kept to your bedroom?
Not really. Like, I was always pretty happy to go down and play them for whoever would listen, and particularly my friends that were in, like, we were in a band together from the age of 12 with a bunch of school friends, and we'd all come to practice with songs. And I mean, we were practicing once or twice a week.
Were you really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just all we did.
So you could have been the Silverchair.
Well, we could have been, because we actually played in a band comp against them when we were 14 and they were 12, and the buggers beat us. And then they just went. We just kept on plodding on.
So what can you remember some of those early songs that you wrote and what they were like?
Certainly.
Yeah. What were some of the themes?
Well, the first one was a 12-bar blues ditty called "My Baby Don't Love Me Anymore."
It's tough being 12, isn't it?
It was. She kept on walking out that door. Why don't she love me like before? She keeps on walking out the door. So a lot of rhyming couplet kind of stuff. There was a song called XTC. There was a song called Drowning. It was that kind of, teenage angst kind of stuff. But, we were 13 or 14.
There wasn't weight in the water, or weight in the air. If I'd waited any longer, an additional fare. They can keep you around like a head on a stake. I guess the industry found a use for my namesake. I built my calluses up from feeling on the guitar. I keep them hard in the midst of what's something bizarre. And ephemeral notions like a song or a curse, offering a return but making me feel worse. If you wanna quit, you should quit like a winner. Cut your losses and extricate yourself from the bidding. Tell your friends that you could if you wanted to. Tell yourself that it's strong to make a hard wall. When the others are all fed and watered, you still bet and cheering her on. By then I bet you'd be gone. emptiness I choose to bequeath. So if 1 equals C, then your A equals 3. But the encryption just adds to the mendacity. Now I'm on top of the water, still suppressed by the air. I earn my wage on a track that's almost totally bare of the things I expected when I first got the itch. Should turn it off if only there existed a switch. If you wanna quit, you should quit like a winner. Cut your losses and extricate yourself from the bidding. Tell your friends that you could if you wanted to. Tell yourself that it's strong to make a hard fall. And if you wanna try, you should try like a loser who keeps on betting their life on a slow horse. And when the others are all fed and wanted, you're still betting, cheering her on. By then I'll bet you'll be gone. Sometimes I get to the point where little problems seem too big for me, and then I let them unravel like a light in the ocean, sinking down into the density. When the pressure becomes the same amount as what's inside of me, I could sink and explode or hold my breath until I float. I gamble on my own biology. Barnacles on the ladder, bleed my feet while I set a good example in tenacity. So if you wanna quit, you should quit like a winner. Cut your losses and extricate yourself from the bidding. Tell your friends that you could if you wanted to. Tell yourself that it's strong to make a hard ball. And if you wanna try, you should try like a loser who keeps on betting their life on a slow horse. And every year while she gets a little more tired, you still betting, cheering her on. And when the others are all fed and watered, you're still betting, cheering her on. Yeah, you're still betting, cheering her on. Ah, then I'll bet you'll be gone.
Is it true that you... not sure what I'm going to ask. Is it true that you sleep with a guitar next to your bed and you're a bit of an insomniac, that you write some of your stuff?
I go through phases. Lately, I'm not sleeping much. And yeah, I mean, I generally have a guitar around the bedroom. And there's been 2 songs now that I've written which have come from, like, I've woken up and there's been a song in my head that was playing in my dream and I've been able to quickly figure it out and...
What were they?
And jot it down. Well, Monkey with a Drum was one from the latest record.
And what time in the morning was that it came out?
Well, I just woke up at sort of normal time, 8 o'clock in the morning, but I'd had this dream that I was flying over Sydney in a seaplane with this friend of mine, James Diamond, who we grew up together when we were little kids. And I was thinking, it's great to see James, isn't it? And then it was such a beautiful view, and then this wafting music came into it sort of as the soundtrack to the dream. And I woke up and I could play it immediately. And so when I went to record the track, I produced that track myself and I put a loop, sort of nylon string guitar loop underneath it to represent the hum of the engine. So, I mean, that was one that came pretty fully formed in a dream.
Wow, yeah.
Is it time to surrender? A little monkey in a lion's den. A little monkey with a drum jumping for their fun. Yeah, feel a little tender then. And when I am away, remember, a cheap rhyme never fits the bill. 'Cause I've been around the world, but I miss my girl, and I feel a little tender still. Tell me if you're feeling tender, or baby if you're feeling blue. I got some money put away for a great escape, and I can run for a girl like you. And I can make plans if you can. I know there's fear in being true. Baby, a monkey with a drum, I am the sun, but I know not that to you. And I can make plans if you can. You know we gotta take a bird's eye view. And from way up here, things are looking pretty clear. Above the clouds, the skies are always blue. Always blue. So tell me if you're feeling tender, or baby if you're feeling blue. I got some money put away for a great escape, and I can run for a girl like you. And I can make plans if you can. I know there's fear in being true. A monkey with a drum, I am the sun, but I know not that to you. Maybe a monkey with a drum, I am the sun, but I know not that to you.
Now, you are sitting in a position where a lot of artists would like to be, and that is that you're an Australian muso who is playing gigs overseas. On the back of your very first album, you know, like you've been over to the UK, what is it, 3 or 4 times now?
Four times. I'm heading back after this tour, and that'll be the 5th time.
Yeah, and you've done showcases in New York and stuff. What's been the secret to it? How do you get your name outside of the Australian confines?
Well, I mean, luck has a hell of a lot to do with it. I was lucky enough to, that via some passing of my CD, it got to the head of Island Records, who sort of contacted my management, and then, you know, from there everything kind of steamrolled, and everybody took it over and made it happen, you know.
When you found out that the head of Island Records, which is one of the world's massive record companies and has hosted some of the world's biggest names, when you found out that the head of this record company had Josh Pyke's CD in the CD player, had pressed play, and had actually really loved what he'd heard, what was your reaction?
Because I've been doing it for such a long time, I'm really low-key about everything, so my reaction was like, oh, cool, well, you know, when I've signed the contract, I'll get excited. And then, you know, it took another 6 months for that to actually happen, so by that time I'd kind of got used to it. But it's only now that I'm starting to get really excited, and having been there and seen how it's starting to develop, and I've sold out a few shows in the UK now, and there is definitely a sense that people are starting to know my material over there.
This is a song called Private Education. It was on a mini album that I put out last year called Feeding the Wolves.
and I'm feeling like an innocent. Though I feel a little guilty now, since I've sinned against myself again. So forgive me for what I've done, and forgive me for what I might do, and redeem me to everyone as I submit myself to you. You could wear me around like your best dress, and I wouldn't mind. You could ruin me in one long night and then cast me aside. You could turn your mind back to your past, and I couldn't change your heart or kiss your scars or find your heat there in the dark. I wanna learn you good, I wanna read your text, I wanna cut you deep, I wanna cut you best. Now my cautionary ways are swept aside. I feel you not. All my past disclaimers and alibis I now forgot. You could turn your mind back to your past, and I couldn't change your heart or kiss your scars or find your heat there in the dark, dark, dark. So it's a private education, and it's not getting any cheaper. Oh, well, the cost around like a wound, and I'll try not to bleed all over you.
Thank you.
When I was a kid, I grew up in a house on a hill, not the top, not the bottom, but the middle. And I still remember where I cracked my head in the vacant lot. There's a row of tiny houses there now. And we used to light fires in the gutters, and I could cool my head on the concrete steps. Took the girl down the street, hit my sister on the head with a stick, and we hid behind my father as he knocked on her parents' door to tell them what she did. But the parents were drunk, so they really didn't give a shit. Then the girl down the street said a dog couldn't bark, 'cause a man with an axe cut its voice box out. My older sister told me that it probably wasn't true, and I believe what she said, 'cause she took me by the hand one time when a couple men drove down a hill in a white van. Said there was a phone box filled with money round the corner, and I would have gone along, but she took me by the hand to the house in the middle of the hill, the middle of the hill, the middle of the hill. And our mother knew the words to a lot of different songs, and we'd always sing the harmonies when we'd sing along. She had cool, cool hands when the fever hit. Then the noises that the trains made sounded like people in my head, and the stories that the ceiling told through the pictures in the grains on the pine wood boards. And I could stay outside till the sky went red, and I could cool my head on the concrete steps. And you can never really see the top from the bottom. I don't pay enough attention to the good things when I got them. You can never really see the top from the bottom. I don't pay enough attention to the good things when I got them. Don't pay enough attention to the good things when I got them. I don't pay enough attention to the good things when I got them. Don't pay enough attention to the good things when I got them. Don't pay enough attention to the good things when I got them. No.
Thank you.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?